Hi Virgo, this is your horoscope for September 2017. It's really nice to be with you. Thanks for joining me. And because Mercury, our ruler, is in retrograde, I've changed all the formats of my videos. So let me know what you think of this, whether you prefer the monthly like this or whether you prefer it, me doing it in the office. Information is the same. And if you want something else out of these videos, if you want them to be super long, or if you want charts, or if you want them to be very short, let me know what you want, because I make these videos for you guys, and I'd really appreciate your feedback, because you're the ones who are watching them. So if I can make them more watchable for you, then I'd love to do that. So first of all, in September, Uranus, the planet of rebellion and eccentricity, that trines Mars, which is the masculine male principle. And they form this trine, this harmonious relationship between themselves until the 11th of September, and that happens in your 8th and your 12th houses. So Uranus is in your 8th and Mars is in your 12th. So you may be a little bit restless and frustrated when it comes to the institutional stuff that you have to do, and you'd much rather focus on your own personal inner growth until the 11th. So just be aware of that. That, you know, if you have all these responsibilities, you're not going to just be thrilled about them. You'd much rather just work on yourself. Mercury moves into Leo from Virgo, so it's going backwards on the 1st of September, and that happens in your 12th house. So Mercury is going backward. When Mercury goes direct, you know, it goes from Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, it moves on. But now, because it's in retrograde, it's going back into Leo, and in your 12th house, it really fires you up spiritually. But it's still in retrograde until the 5th. So together with this Uranus and Mars energy in your 8th and 12th, you're really going to have this huge desire to work on yourself. But when Mercury is in retrograde, we all know that there's room for error. I mean, for me personally as a Virgo, this retrograde has felt amazingly liberating because I've been able to just change things. And I didn't even think about them. It just came to me. Just do it differently this time. But so that's a positive of Mercury retrograde, that we can do things differently. But because it is our ruler, we are affected by it, and errors can creep in. So be aware of those. Venus is in Leo until the 20th in your 12th house. So you've got Mars and Venus in your 12th house. So the male and the female creating new life. So after the 5th of September, when Mercury goes direct, you can really do that inner work and really progress. So if there are things that have pained you for life, you know, if you have relationships which are just, you just marry the same guy over and over and over again, you know, if you just repeat this negative pattern, or there's a way that you think about your life and you manifest the same thing over and over again that you don't want, this is the time, this is your birthday present, Virgo, that you get this insight into yourself, and that spiritually you can experience a rebirth. You can become a new person. You can become... People say that people don't change. I don't believe that. I have lived 2 lifetimes in my lifetime. Up until I was 28, it was 1 lifetime. Then when I got into recovery, it's a whole different lifetime. I'm a completely different person. And by working on ourselves, we can truly, fundamentally change who we are. I really believe that. And if you are someone who feels like you're at the mercy of yourself, you know, sometimes it's like, I don't want to do this behavior, but I just feel compelled to do it. Then this is the time where you can let go of those things by looking inward and by making changes. Venus then goes into your 1st house of self in Virgo on the 20th, and that is a time when you can really love yourself and you can really feel comfortable in your own skin. And I think it's as a result of this change that you've been able to make earlier on in the month. On the 5th of September, Mercury goes direct, and it goes direct in your 12th house in Leo. So spiritual fire and optimism and hope, and the assumption that things can change, which is so huge. You know, if we think that nothing will ever change, I'm stuck in this life, this is the way it's always going to be, then that is the way it's going to be. But you have this amazing new hope come in, and it really galvanizes you into action. On the 6th of September, the full moon occurs in Pisces in your 7th house. I'll make a separate video on the full moon and the new moon to go into extra detail, but the important thing is that it happens in Pisces in your 7th. So the 7th house is relationships, and you're going to feel showered with this spiritual, giving, self-sacrificing energy when it comes to relationships. So make sure that you don't let yourself be taken advantage of, that you don't dive into a situation before knowing what it is, because you just utterly trust everyone and everyone is wonderful and a positive, enlightened person. Don't fall for it, because we know we're not all enlightened, and you have to get to know people a little bit before you jump right in to protect yourself. Also on the 6th, Mars moves into Virgo and into your 1st house. So now we have Mars, the archetypal male principle, in your sign of Virgo in the 1st house of self. So in September you feel really, really strong, and you feel active, not passive. You feel able to make changes in your life, to do the things that you want, and you feel able to do that independently. On the 11th of September, Mercury, your ruler, goes into your sign of Virgo. Hooray! And it goes into the 1st house of self, and it's no longer in retrograde. So communication is the best it's ever been, it ever has been, and it's the 1st house of self. So personal understanding, personal development, personal growth, that's what you're blessed with here in September. On the 20th of the month, the new moon occurs, and that happens in your sign of Virgo in your 1st house. So even more Virgo energy is being pulled into your 1st house. So you're going to be blissed out here for the majority of the month. I'm really looking forward to it. But on the 20th, even more bliss, even more of your own energy, and really understanding yourself and having power to make changes, which is huge. Because we as Virgos, we like to learn and we like to have knowledge, don't we? But knowledge isn't power. You can know that you're crap at relationships, but that doesn't mean you suddenly become good at them. So insight, understanding, communicating, and then communicating with your inner self and identifying what's there and doing something about it, but also communicating with your higher power and asking for help and support and guidance. On the 30th of the month, your ruler Mercury moves into Libra in the 2nd house. So moving into October, you're now going to focus on financial relationships and how to improve those and how to make more, to build more financial relationships which serve you and the other person. So your focus shifts in October much more towards money and the real world, whereas September here is about you and growth and power. So I hope you have a wonderful month. It looks amazing. Happy birthday. If you'd like a private reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Just click on the readings tab to order your reading. And what I do is I draw up your birth chart by using your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, I can use sunrise, or I can rectify your chart to find out the time of birth. And with that, it's literally a blueprint of your soul. I can look at what your life purpose is, what your vocational aptitudes are, what your weaknesses and strengths are. And using the predictive astrology, the progress charts and the transits, and astrocartography, I can look at what's coming up for you in future in terms of your love life, in terms of your career, spirituality, family, where the best place to live is, all of those kind of things. So if you're interested, then get in touch via the website. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will speak to you in October.